Good evening and hello. Yes, I can. Interesting. So let's do this. Okay. Talk. Make noise.
¿Qué pasa?
¿Qué pasa? You know what I do miss? I miss some Nick Merckx content.
I don't watch him anymore.
I don't either.
Stop playing Warzone.
Yeah, nobody wants to watch
not watching Apex.
Apex. I don't. I'm out on that action.
Yeah.
BP Hero Podcast, Season 7, Episode 9. The grumpiest of snacks is back in the chat. We'll do the usual, let everybody kind of file in here. Hey, and real quick, everybody should go and share this thing, whether you're catching it live or after the fact. That goes for you as well, by the way.
I don't know if I can do that.
Oh yeah, didn't we try that one time? Like you kept trying to close out of the app, and it would mess up or something. Yeah. So maybe just.
Well, the wife has the Apple TV watching something, so.
Oh.
I'm on a different TV with the podcast on, although I can't listen to it because I'm listening to you. But hopefully it'll show me comments.
Sure, it should. Yeah. So let's see. You need to edit that. Live. So tell me about this Apple TV. You have an Apple TV?
Yeah.
Is that just in place of a Fire Stick, I guess?
Yeah, same thing. Another device similar to a Fire Stick or a Roku or something like that.
Okay.
Just Apple's version of it. Although I believe you can get, if you have a smart TV, you can get the Apple TV app without actually having their device and still get their content.
Really?
But it's just like an iPhone or a iPad, but for your TV. It's a smart TV. It makes it a smart TV. So it has different apps you can use similar to an iPad or an iPhone.
So it's like the iPhone interface, but for a TV.
Correct.
Okay. So
you would have an app for Spotify or for the Apple TV stuff. Obviously, Netflix has another app. Just like it looks almost like you have an iPhone screen on your TV.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was always curious what the Apple TV was like. I'm not a big Apple is everything kind of person. Obviously now that I've started with the iPhones and stuff, I'll never own a Mac or anything. Those are way too expensive.
Oh yeah.
But the Apple TV has always kind of piqued my interest a little bit. I'm assuming it's probably really easy to what do they call it? Not AirDrop, where you broadcast your phone.
Right. Kind of like Chromecast. Chromecast is a similar thing where if I'm watching something on my phone, I can cast it onto the TV.
Yeah.
Also, if you have something where you need to input a password or something like that, your phone would double as your keyboard.
Okay. Interesting.
So, just different. But yeah, I'm not saying Apple's better than everything, obviously, but if you're already in the ecosystem, you have an iPhone, you have an iPad, you have that, just makes it easier because everything is the same. You don't have to struggle operating something because it's different.
Yeah. See, that's what is intriguing about it. And I do know there are some YouTubers I follow, they record everything with their iPhones. People, go out and buy these crazy $2,000 cameras and all this stuff. And most of these guys are just doing this on iPhones. And then with that comes the, what is it? QuickTime. It's not QuickTime. I can't remember what the name of the program is that a lot of these guys use to edit on a Mac. And that thought has crossed my mind, but then I lose the potential to do a lot of stuff like this. Not that the Macs aren't powerful machines and can be very efficient and do things like that, but the capability of a Windows machine is way more than what a Mac is.
For sure.
A lot of things aren't very Mac friendly.
Yeah, exactly. People that like using Mac computers, it's very specific, but you are beholden to their ecosystem more so than an iPhone or an iPad or what else, because it's not easily upgradable like a Windows laptop would be.
Yeah.
So, and with, how technology is nowadays, things are always getting cheaper. They're always getting faster. They're always being replaced. So you can go out and buy a laptop right now, and as soon as you walk out of the store, it's obsolete or it's already an older generation because something new is already out. And
Right.
it seems to be even more so in the case of Mac. Someone can correct us if I'm wrong. I don't own one, haven't owned one in a very, very long time. So I don't know if that's still the case, but they are not open source, quote unquote, like an Android or like Windows, because you can share the same programs across all devices,
Right.
all operating systems. Everything's upgradable yourself. You can add more memory. You can add more speed. But Macs are notoriously difficult.
Yeah, it's always been an interesting thing. Maybe they should do standards like softball bats. I mean, it's a softball
I don't know
podcast.
how that
We
would
had to have
translate, but okay.
it's a softball podcast. We had to have a softball joke in here somewhere. We do have people checking in. Adam's in the chat. What's up, buddy? Eric made it. Eric says he has Apple TV, Fire Stick, and Roku. This man is out of control.
He has everything.
Yeah, Spencer's in the chat. What's up, Spencer? Mike made it, and so did Jason. We're popping off here to get things started. I'm just going to say. And we did have a pretty decent amount of responses to our little post we had on Facebook.
We did.
So this will be fun. And we even had our guy PJ even commented on the YouTube channel with something that is a really good topic. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. But we're going to do the usual. Everybody kind of slide in here. You know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a while. And I do have to bring up one thing just real quick.
Oh boy! All right.
Hey, no, I'm not.
I'm sitting down. That's right.
I'm not starting on any bullshit just yet. Okay. So, what did I see? I've been in the blender. I've been like working 10s and 12s. I haven't had a day off in like almost 3 weeks. So I've been like kind of like trying to not live under the rock, but I've been stuck under the rock a little bit. What am I seeing about Matt Nagy going back to Kansas City as a quarterback coach?
Oh man, don't get me started. First of all, how do I want to say this? I'm sure he's a decent coach. He failed, obviously. But I think, and you know how you listen to different talking heads on sports radio and sports TV, and they always talk about this coach is coming from this tree, like the Sean McVay tree is what they're saying now, even though he's a super young coach. But different coaches are getting hired who used to be under him, or the Andy Reid tree, or the Belichick tree. So Matt Nagy came from the Andy Reid tree, meaning a coach who was under him at some point.
Yeah.
Andy Reid obviously has had success in the league for numerous years. And they took a chance after the Bears passed on Patrick Mahomes. And he turned out to be, I don't know if you want to call him a generational quarterback yet. You could argue that, though, because he's very good.
Sure.
And the team has been very good since he's been there. They started him off slow, obviously, with the transition away from Alex Smith. But I am personally in the belief that Matt Nagy got a job head coach of the Bears due to someone else's success, that being Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not saying that doesn't always happen. That happens because the league is very I'm going to hire my friend to come to this organization. And then once I get in there, I'm going to hire my friend, and he's going to hire his friend. And there's not a lot of diversity. And it always seems to be a club, so to speak, boys club. Like, I'm going to hire my friends to come join me, which can be good, can be bad. But
buddy ball.
But exactly, yes, buddy ball. A good way to say it. But yeah, he like I said, he may be a good coach. However, I think he got his job based on the credentials and accomplishments of others.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So I think it's absolutely hilarious, though, that now he's going back to Kansas City as a QB coach, so to speak. And the irony is because the first year in Chicago, Mitchell Trubisky did very well. I think he had over 100 and something QBR. He went to a Pro Bowl, I believe.
Yes, he did.
They did very good, and then every single year after that, he did progressively worse. And which is funny because Matt Nagy has been credited as being a QB guru
Yes.
or an offensive-minded guy, but he refused to work with Trubisky. So like everybody was bitching about it's Trubisky. He's the bad guy. He's not a good quarterback because they took a flyer and made him the number 2 pick when they had Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, all these other QBs who were better, more accomplished in college, and they traded up and got this kid. But then they couldn't do anything with him. So I don't know. It's just irony abounds.
Yeah.
I find it absolutely hilarious. It never was Trubisky. I mean, I'm sure I've dogged on him when he was in Chicago because he wasn't performing, obviously. But
sure,
that's
part of being a fan. We're allowed to dog.
Exactly.
We're allowed to dog on our guys.
Right, but then you see how things after Nagy got fired, you start hearing stories about like Allen Robinson after the season ended last year or the year before. He was waiting, like coaches have exit interviews, so to speak, or like wrap up the season, have a conversation with their players, and he never heard from Nagy. The head coach of the team doesn't call your number 1 wide receiver to discuss how the season went, what your plans are for the future, knowing that he's going to be going into free agency soon. Like, just you hear stories like that, and you're like, wow, this is really because of the head coach.
Yeah.
And how shitty he did.
Yeah. It's so crazy to me because, like you said, it's the whole fact of I really do think that Nagy's like, oh, man, he's a quarterback whisperer. Like, no. Dude,
he was in over his head.
Mahomes is just a freak. I mean,
for sure. Yeah,
I think I could coach.
Player,
I think I could
generational coach.
Yeah, I think
player.
I think I could, in loose terms, coach Mahomes, and he'd still be a good quarterback.
Right. So he's going to go back to the Chiefs. What's he actually going to do? Like, he had to call in a favor. Andy, I can't get a job. I need to come back.
You're right. Yeah, look, I'm trying to stay in the league here, and I got
right.
Hey, if I was a restaurant, I'd have 0 stars on Yelp. I mean.
Right. And Chiefs fans, I mean, I'm sure there's some on here. Like, there was thought that Eric Bieniemy was going to leave the organization and get a job as a head coach, and he didn't. And you're like, why? I'm still trying to figure out why that didn't happen, or why, because I'm sure he had opportunities, but why did he decide to stay with Andy Reid? Which not bad. Saying it's not a bad thing to say to stay with an organization that's been doing really well, obviously. But
well, yeah,
I don't know. It's just interesting.
Yeah, the whole thing. But I read that and I immediately thought I'm gonna send it to you, but like I have no concept of time. Sometimes so I almost sent it to you, but it was like 4 a.m, so I didn't figure you'd probably appreciate that.
Yeah, I think I was ranting to Ronnie about it. I was like, "You see this shit? This guy went back as a QB coach to Kansas City, to a place that doesn't need one."
No, I don't get it. It's just like somebody said in the chat here. Alex Smith could have been the quarterback coach. I mean, the guy was always
he's more qualified.
Yes, 100%. It was just so crazy, and Adam said it. I mean, part of what hurt Mitch Trubisky was not having Tariq Cohen. That did hurt, yeah. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing, just watching it week in and week out, the biggest thing that frustrated me is Trubisky got fed up to a point where he was like, hey, look, I'm tired of this. Like, I'm tired of being the bad guy here. Like, I want to run plays a certain way. And Matt Nagy's like, no, we're going to do it this way. Like you got to work with your guy a little bit here. If he wants to roll out and throw, or if he wants to throw on the move, then you need to accommodate your quarterback here, man. You can't take a lineman and make him into a receiver. He is what he is.
And speaking of linemen, let's get one thing straight. The problem with the Bears during those 4 years that Nagy was there was the offensive line. The offensive line has been atrocious. So I'm really excited with the new regime coming in. Ryan Poles, the new GM, is a former offensive lineman. He was actually an undrafted lineman by the Bears when he entered the draft. He was one of Matt Ryan's linemen at Boston College. So yeah, I'm excited with that. He definitely has folks, and he's been credited with turning around the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line, which was bad for a little while. So I'm excited, but I don't know. Trubisky, I always said, never had balls. Like, you say that he wanted to do different plays. Well, once you get the play, and then you're lined up on the line behind your guys, you have the option to audible and change plays, and he really didn't take advantage of that.
But I mean, that's fair. I'll give you that one. But is this
the play calling was terrible.
Is this a deal where, sorry, I'm struggling to find words here. I'm trying to read and do this at the same time.
I can't see the chat, so that's probably helping me.
No, I'm Googling something here. I'm trying to help me out here. What's the name of the head coach the Giants just had?
The old Giants head coach?
Not Coughlin.
No.
Somebody help me out here in the chat. But anyway, so he's supposed to be this offensive line like whisperer, right? Like he's like, oh, I'm going to build an offensive line. That's my goal when I get here. And 4 years later, Daniel Jones is running for his life, and what Joe Judge? Thank you, Joe Judge.
Yeah, Joe Judge. Yeah.
You know he's gonna build this offensive lineup and make Daniel Jones a quarterback. Well, now you're at the point with Daniel Jones where it's like you got to shit or get off the pot. It was kind of the same thing with Trubisky. Like I'm not 100%. I wasn't really ready to give up on him yet, but we had to do something.
Right.
I mean, and I don't know if Justin Fields is going to be the play either, but I don't think Nagy was doing him any favors. Bottom line.
No, for sure. And thankfully, he only had 1 year with him. That's why I always hate with the league is, coaches may take the fall for players' performance unnecessarily and vice versa. But think about the guys who have every single year had to deal with a new offensive scheme. Alex Jones, who we just mentioned, perfect example. He was with so many different teams and had to learn so many different offenses. Just always having to deal with a new coach and new play style and everything. It's just, and they can never get their feet under them, so to speak. Not to say that he didn't, because he did have some success. But there are so many different quarterbacks that you can say things about that. Like Blaine Gabbert is another guy. Although I don't think he's really good. I was reading an article and someone was talking about how Blaine Gabbert's going to do well now that Tom Brady's out of the league, possibly.
So that was something Arians
and
actually,
I said I would take Chase Daniels over Blaine Gabbert.
So it was actually I don't quote me on the exact numbers here because I do not remember, but Arians kind of proved the point of like Gabbert's been in the league for X amount of years and he's had a different coach every year.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I mean.
But so
how do you fault a guy who's had to deal with stuff like that?
Yeah. And
granted, you can say, well, they're a professional. They should know that. They should learn how to adapt and learn. I mean, they get paid millions of dollars to do this, but you kind of handicap them off the start.
Yeah, absolutely. And so hot take here is Blaine Gabbert the next Jimmy Garoppolo?
No. Well, see, I read something. Someone said that Blaine Gabbert has the talent to be on an ESPN top 5 play, but then couple plays later will make a rookie mistake and throw a pick or something like that, or just make you like a head scratching play. Like, really, you just did something absolutely phenomenal, and that's what you followed up with.
He'd be on ESPN for top play, and then 10 minutes later he'd be on there for Shacked and a Fool. Who remembers Shacked and a Fool?
Oh man,
yeah. It's just, and part of that I think comes from inexperience. It's kind of what The thing with Chase Daniel was when, Chase Daniel was still kind of like trying to find his stride when he was in Chicago. Man, the guy just needed the time. But at what point are you past your time to have time,
Yeah, I think he is. Someone could do a case study on Chase Daniel. He is a professional backup to the max.
Dude, it's crazy.
He has gone to every single place he's gone to. He was with Drew Brees. He's with what's his name in San Diego right now? Well, not San Diego, the Chargers.
Yeah.
He was under, Trubisky, but, not really a good example, but he's been under so many great quarterbacks and been content being the backup, not getting some plays, and also making money. So, he's a professional. He's the ultimate professional backup.
His offensive IQ, I personally feel this way anyway. But especially after naming off the people that like you talk about that he's been around and like the good offenses that you could say in loose terms he's been a part of, but his offensive IQ is just through the roof, man.
Right, he set records at Mizzou.
Yeah, he was just an incredible quarterback at Mizzou. But when you go from one of the more average sized guys on the field because he wasn't a small guy compared to a bunch of college players. But now you get him to the NFL, and he's just a little guy.
Yeah.
So I think that'll always be kind of a damning thing for him.
Mm-hmm. But he always gets a job.
Dude, yeah, he always gets a job. I mean, but there's a reason why,
Yeah.
They understand what he knows, and he understands what he knows.
Right. There's intangibles he's bringing to the table.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And that's why I think every softball team needs a player or two like that. The guy that, like, not necessarily like the best player you could go out and grab, but he's going to make everybody around you better.
Yeah.
Every team needs a guy like that. So Mike Reyes in the chat here mentioned Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy, yeah, he's another one. He's another one. He fits a Chase Daniels mold in the NFL. I don't know if he could lead a team as the number one, but he would be a very serviceable backup and someone who has had success at the collegiate level and would bring that experience to help somebody else.
Yeah, I agree. Like, and he's clearly good enough to be knowledgeable enough. He could help a rookie with like an incredible, what do you want to say? A really good athlete who might just need like a little like pat on the ass, a bump in the right direction, kind of thing. I think he'd be a really good asset in the same regard as somebody like Chase Daniel.
Right.
Oh, Tony Benskin in here going on about Jordan Love. We ain't talking about no Packers, bro.
Yeah, we don't talk about Packers.
Rodgers is a grease ball, and nobody cares about Jordan Love. That's why his parents were in the top row of the stadium at Arrowhead.
Oh man, such a disgrace.
So we've been talking about football for almost 20 minutes. We got to get started here on at least something softball related before we get done here.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say there's a good segue talking about a team player because Odell asked about team philosophy. And doing what's best for the team, so to speak. That's how I took it. I know he went on with the 3-1 pitch versus automatic take,
sure,
or hitting the ball, but that kind of segues into like being a team player and what you want on your team.
So, I don't know how many people here have listened to the podcast that we actually did with Kevin Bazat. He kind of discussed swinging at a 3-1 pitch. I don't know if you have excuse me, words are hard. Have you had a chance to catch that episode?
Me?
Yes.
Yes, I did listen to it. Although okay. I'm struggling to remember it because I don't remember what he said, but I have my opinion.
So he's saying basically like 3-1, like it's okay to swing, but like make that your line swing. Like you're gonna try and paint the line. Right. You're gonna try and do something. Don't just like swing because that's close. You know, it's something really interesting.
Swing with a purpose.
Yeah, don't just like 3-1, I'm hungry, I'm going to swing because it's close. Like, it needs to be the pitch you want to swing at.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's interesting, Chris's question of the team philosophy, 3-1 pitch, should it be an automatic take or do you smash the cookie? Man, I personally, I can screw up a 3-1 pitch almost every time. But there's guys that can swing and never miss hit a ball. If it's a home run situation and you get a biscuit on 3-1, eat it up.
Let it fly. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can say a team philosophy, though. I think it has to go player by player. Like what your tendency is, are you a good two-strike hitter? Because if you're going to take, if you're not a good two-strike hitter, then you get a cookie because it's 3-1. It should be a strike 9 times out of 10. Swing at it. Yeah. But like Bezat said, try to pull a line so you're not hitting into an out, giving yourself a better opportunity if you do hit a line drive, rather than going up the box or trying to push it.
Yeah.
That's doing too much in that situation.
But
it's almost
Go ahead.
I would say I kind of treat it as I'm not a good strike. I like to try to walk, but I'm not self-admittedly I'm not a good two-strike hitter. So in my case, I would probably swing a cookie if I know for sure I have to get a strike. Like it all depends on if the guy has been struggling before the batter before me and whatnot. If he gets me a 3-1, I'm like, okay, this is probably going to be a strike, so I should be looking for it. But yeah, so I would definitely swing away. But I likened it to playing blackjack and hitting on 16 or not.
Yeah.
Either do it all the time or don't, but don't mix and match.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of the other thing he was saying too, with kind of the 3-1 pitch. Like if a pitcher if as a pitcher, you know that this guy is going to stay in here and just stare at the 3-1 pitch every time, just dump one in. And now if you're good enough of a pitcher, you get to a certain level. I mean, these pitchers can pretty much do what they want whenever they want, or at least they're going to make you sweat either way. So
Right.
if I know you're going to stand there and let yourself get 2 strikes on you, yeah, I'm gonna throw the biscuit in there, and then you're screwed. Your hands are tied.
Mm-hmm.
It's to me, what it really depends on is like how good is the pitcher. That's also something I take into account when it comes to how disciplined I am at the plate. If it's a pitcher that's really good at fakes or he's got some pretty nasty stuff, I'm taking the first pitch that's something I can stay out of trouble with, that I feel comfortable hitting. I'm not going to wait until I get the perfect pitch. With some guys, you just got to take what you get.
I agree.
So that's kind of my philosophy on the 3-1 thing. Well,
There's also scenarios. Gio said that if there's hitters on, swing away if you're going to get a cookie. And if there isn't, maybe take a walk to try to get people on for the next guy up, which is kind of like what Bezat was saying. Like if you're like the scenario, he was given a scenario like if there's nobody on, it's your turn to take or get people on so you can set up the next guy behind you.
Or especially if you're in a situation where there's like runners on second and third and there's no outs. I mean, swing away. Make sure you hit it in the air.
Right. Don't hit into a double play or something.
Well, I mean, second and third you can't, but it's hit in the air. Even if at least you miss, it's a sacrifice fly. You're getting a run in. No, we don't count sacrifice flies as anything in slow pitch softball. But at the end of the day, you're still moving runs in. I mean, if you're going to take that swing, if you do happen to miss, at least it's something in the air where you're still at least doing something productive.
Right.
So we're going to start at the top and just kind of fire through some of these here. Wilfredo wants to know, should a softball bat ever be worth $1,500 like they're worth Bubba Mac? Absolutely not. That's absurd.
Yes. Right now, the monsters are the only thing that are really holding value, like crazy prices. And even now, I don't think they really are anymore. Not as much as they did for sure.
The M2s are going nuts because supposedly they've discontinued the M2 composite. And I guess that's been some of like their best composite. But the one thing I will say is multiple people I have seen that have said, he said he's going to do this once or twice before, and it always makes its way back.
Yeah.
So there's.
Well, I mean, that's not bad. I mean, business savvy stuff. Like obviously, if you have something really hype, you're gonna make it seem hard to get, and then sprinkle it back in there just to make more money.
Oh yeah, he's no dummy when it comes to selling. I mean,
yeah,
no doubt about that.
No, right. Well, we're not gonna go down that
road. No. Next. So Matt Allen wants to know, what was the single largest factor that led to the demise of Pizza World? I'll hang up and listen.
I remember that place. I got to go to that place 2 times, I think.
Oh man, we wore that place out. It was so good. So I do know, I think there's actually like a chain of those or something in the St. Louis area. I don't know about like nationwide, but in the St. Louis area, there's at least somewhat of a chain of those. But so Pizza World is basically like a franchise like Hunt Brothers and that kind of thing, where, it'll be in a gas station, it'll be here, it'll be there. So this one was actually part of a bar called The Library, just down the road from help me. Kiwanis, what's the name of the college? I'm drawing completely blank.
Lindenwood?
Yes. So it's just down the road from Lindenwood, and they call it The Library. It's kind of a little college area. People go down there and drink. Where are you at? Oh, I'm at the library. But really they're out getting sloshed, right? But they had the Pizza World there, and most incredible pizza, man. It was so good. We used to get the same thing every time. And Matt kind of asked the question, like, what was the demise of the Pizza World? Because we all just went back one day. We all used to go hit at Kiwanis, just down the road and around the corner, and then we'd stop at Pizza World on the way back and, eat and drink until the sun went down. But he wants to know what...
so do we know if the bar is still open, or is it just the pizza part?
The whole thing is gone.
Oh, wow.
The whole thing is gone. And I'm going to choose my words wisely here. But there was a large factor involved for sure. There was 2 large factors. They were big and round. It just tell me, do you remember the older lady that was the bartender there?
Vaguely.
She had some bolt-on modifications that kept the boys coming in the doors. I just have a good feeling.
Flotation devices.
Yeah. They were not losing her in a body of water. So maybe she quit and everybody went elsewhere. It's hard telling.
Huh?
But
yeah, I'm curious. I don't know. I'm not, I don't live up that way, so I'd be curious if anybody knows more information about that.
So Jason Herndon here in the chat actually says it's better than Emo. So he knows about Pizza World. I love Pizza World. It was so good.
Oh, it's definitely better than Emo's.
Yeah, and Mike Reyes is on some bullshit about a cheese pizza. We're not going there right now. So
hey, look. Hey, I already said we're going to talk about your incorrect food opinions. So if they come up, I'm going to call them out. And the fact that you only like cheese pizzas,
No, stop. It's not that I only like cheese pizza.
Do you do it? You're going to blame the kids? I do it for Riley.
No,
because she's a picky eater.
She does only like cheese pizza. I am just throwing that out there. She gets it honest. But like I don't mind a cheese pizza. A pizza can be good with just cheese on it. Damn it, Mike, I hate you. We're going to start in on this, and it's a pizza can be good with just cheese.
Jeep.
What?
While we're at it, when do you get the Jeep?
Now, hey, listen, that's a whole different story for another day. I got something else up my sleeve. Remind me, and I'll send you some pictures when we get done here. No Jeeps, no dogs. Yeah, we got something else we're kind of working on here. It's a long story. Maybe we'll tell YouTube one of these days.
I'm intrigued. All right.
Yeah. So, what's the clip from the Tiger Show? Tiger King? I never watched it.
I will not financially recover from this.
Yeah. He's like, I will never financially recover from this. That's. I feel like that's going to be me after this deal, but like I got to do it. It's a long story. Tell you later.
All right. If it's a CTSV wagon, I'm happy for you.
Oh, hey, man, I wish it was. I'd be telling everybody. No doubt about that. So Mike Potts wants to know, can we get the recipe for the hybrid Detroit grandma-style pizza? And do you deliver?
No, I don't deliver.
Tough.
Because you got to have it fresh. I don't have the capability of transporting it to a place and have it taste the way I want it to taste. Therefore, no deliveries.
So would you cook it at Mike's house?
I could.
Yeah.
Or he can cook it. It's not difficult. I can send him the dough recipe that I have.
So you're willing to share? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
You got any pictures of this thing?
Right now,
can you fire me a picture of it?
The pizza?
Yeah.
I got lots of pizza pictures.
Well, send me the one he's talking about. Well, I mean, the chat's got to know.
All right.
Right? I mean, am I wrong here? Chat, tell me, am I wrong? Jason said emos is crap on a cracker.
That's true.
That's tough. It's like one of those, like, I want pizza and there's really nowhere else to get it, so it'll do kind of things. But there's definitely better options.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, son, look at that, would you? Save to downloads. Then we're going to come over here. We're gonna
I don't feel like that's even the best one. I got a bunch of them.
Well, this is the one we're using.
I'm gonna get a bunch of them now.
Oh my God, y'all, hang on. We're way too zoomed in here.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. The last one's a good one. In the pan. Anyway, yeah. So I wanted to make a Detroit style, thicker crust pan pizza. So Detroit style is very underrated in my opinion. Let's first back up. I grew up in Chicago. Everybody associates Chicago deep dish as Chicago style pizza, which is not entirely true. Yes, it is of Chicago origins. However, a true Chicago style is a pub style pizza, slightly thicker than Emo's,
okay,
but squares, round, obviously. And then you have Detroit, which is square, which is cheese on the bottom, and then sauce in, like, I guess, lines. So this is a regular style pizza, but thicker, like a Detroit style crust. So I made it in a pan and then pulled it out. Anyway, yeah, that's my pizza.
That looks incredible. I'm just saying we gotta
full coverage of pepperonis.
Yeah, full coverage of pepperoni for sure. And I'm not even listen. You know me. We've discussed this before. This is something else to get ridiculed for. I'm not a big pepperoni pizza guy.
Oh my god!
But I'm smashing that.
Oh man!
I'm smashing.
What are we gonna do to you? How do you not like pepperoni?
What you're gonna do to me is like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. But anyway,
swing hard games in.
Yeah, you got the idea by now.
You guys can roast him in the comments because who doesn't like pepperoni? My go-to is hamburger instead of sausage and pepperoni because sometimes the spices and sausage and the sausage stuff makes my stomach hurt. So I go with the hamburger.
Sure.
But yeah, pepperoni is a go-to.
See, I don't know. Like, I don't like how greasy a pepperoni makes pizza.
Yeah, that's true. It could make it greasy. So this does look a little greasy, looking on the TV.
It just still looks incredible, though.
That's pretty good. You get the cheese going over the edge, getting crusty.
Yeah.
I got to get a true Detroit-style pizza pan because right now I just use my wife's 13-inch. I think it's 13 by 9 cake pan.
That's a game changer, though. Doing it like my wife made a pizza like that one night. I was like, "What are you doing?" I'd never seen it done that way in just like a 9 by 13 glass pan. I was like, "What are you doing? You're crazy."
Yeah, I've done one on a full cookie sheet too, and it was much bigger. That's traditional grandma style.
Yeah. So tell me this: have you ever ate at Eris's in Columbia?
Harris's?
Eris's. I know you get out and about in Columbia a little bit. I didn't know how familiar you were with Eris's.
So Chrissy graduated from the zoo, so I was there frequently. But no, I don't believe I've been there.
No, so that's going to be our stop next time. Eris's. It's kind of like G&D's. You've been to G&D's. It's like Greek style. They have like gyros and stuff. Which, by the way, the meat lover's gyro is insane. It is gyro meat, which is lamb, and then pepperoni. Gosh, help me out here. I'm coming blank. It's pepperoni and bacon. Yeah, pepperoni, bacon, mozzarella, and then whatever kind of sauces they put. There's a couple of other different sauces they put in as well that's different from a traditional gyro. But, I mean, it'll blow your mind. I mean,
I don't know how I feel about that. I'm a purist when it comes to gyros. I like it original.
Sorry, my wife had to tell me that she finished an entire tube of chapstick without losing it. What'd you say?
I said I'm pretty much a purist when it comes to gyros, so I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to try it.
You got a good gyro spot up the street from me. Go there almost every week.
Yeah, hey,
support the local.
Support local business. So, let's see. Get that out of here. All right, so next question before we sit here and talk about pizza all night, because I could do that too.
I don't know how you can. We're only talking about cheese. We're going to talk about cheese blends.
God. Okay, so hey, real quick. So the Eris's thing, real quick.
Yeah.
So it's a pizza. They're like one of their pizzas. It's called the Achilles. So it's a Greek restaurant, right? So like a lot of their foods have like Greek god names. And they have a pizza called the Achilles. It's incredible. It's again, here we go. Hear me out here. I'm eating it. Pepperoni and ground beef with jalapenos.
That's an elite combination, I have to say.
Dude, hey, wow. Brian got me started on that, and that's like the only thing I want to get when I go there. It's either that or the Meat Lover's Gyro. It's the only two things I want to get when I go there.
I just had a thought for a gyro pizza. I wonder if I can make that happen.
Whoa.
Can you imagine a pizza with some crispy gyro meat on top?
I'm imagining, yes.
I'm going to have to figure out the cheese and the sauce. I like this. I like this fusion we got going here.
Yeah, watch it. Somebody's going to think we are stoned out of our minds listening to this. But the truth is, we just like pizza. I mean,
yeah.
But transitioning from pizza into burritos and softball, Eric wants to know, would you eat a super burrito between games at a tournament?
Now, I imagine this is hearkening back to one of your vlogs that you did where you went to McDonald's beforehand.
It says a super burrito. I don't know what a super burrito is, but I'm guessing it's something that does not mess around. Like we're talking pretty heavy, probably lots of spice, jalapenos.
I prefer not to eat before a tournament because I don't want to have a situation later that happens where I'm going to have to be incapacitated or out of commission for a while.
But between games, though, I mean,
yeah. So I'm going to tell a story about myself. It's super embarrassing. I don't think I've ever said it out loud.
Yes.
But it was a contributing factor to why I quit baseball as a kid.
I love it where this is going on. Hey, can we get a couple more people to share this around before he starts?
So I'm left-handed, as many of you may know. Yeah. If you don't, now you do. Let's just say pitcher's aim as a kid is not very good. So usually I was the only lefty on the team, and I would get pegged all the time.
Oh,
and I hated it. I was a bit of a little Nancy boy. I cry about it. Well, one time after I had gotten hit and I was taken out of the game, I had to go number 2. And tried to go number 2, got caught up in my cup, couldn't get my pants off.
No.
Super embarrassing, left the game. Never came back.
Yeah, I mean, you have to at that point, right? You do the walk of shame.
That's the reason why I don't wear a cup to this day.
Yeah, that could haunt a person for a while. I would definitely have to say. But hey, you know what? We've all been there. We've all been in those shoes. Whether people say, "Oh, I don't do that. I'm an adult." Well, no, listen. You shit your pants at some point in your life. You just don't want to admit it.
I was only 11. It's okay to admit that.
Yeah. See, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, even people as adults. I mean, hey, listen. At some point, they've shit their pants. I don't want to hear otherwise. I do not want to hear otherwise. But so real quick, talking baseball stories and cups and everything made me think of this one time. So we had this kid on our baseball team. He threw hard. We were playing like 1A baseball, so we're kind of podunk, right? So this kid's throwing like low to mid 80s, which is like, man, when you're playing 1A baseball, it looks like it's like 105 miles an hour. So you get these kids in there, they get all scared to get in there and hit, and we are playing this team, and this guy, this pitcher's name is also Jesse. He gets in there and he throws this pitch, and this kid's terrified, right? I mean, he's already like up there shaking and stuff because, he never sees anybody that throws that fast. So the second Jesse throws the ball, the kid just turns his back, and dude, it drilled him right in the spine. Down like a sack of taters, the kid goes. They're, out here on the field checking on this kid, and, we're calling people and doing this and carrying on. So we got a little bit of downtime, right? So my man's going to run to the bathroom real quick. He's all right, bet. Run to the bathroom. Well, we didn't get the garden hose over the edge of the cup. So you can imagine you're wearing gray ball pants and the garden hose is just spewing out of control. What happens to our gray ball pants? Well, then we had the bright idea of, hey, listen, let's just rub some dirt on it and soak it up. And it just turned his crotch into a giant pile of mud.
Wow.
In a perfect outline of where everything happened. It's like, bro.
Like the murder chalk outline?
Yeah. So, trust me, everybody's been there, bro. Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So, Quentin wants to know thoughts on how well a local draft tournament would do in the area. Obviously, we're in two different areas. I know that they do some drafts from time to time in St. Louis, right?
Yeah. No, well, you talking about like the super draft they used to do at Chatham that you guys used to go to, the solo and bus thing?
So that was not a super draft. That was actually just us entering an E team into a tournament full of B players. That's all that was.
Yeah, I don't know if they've had a super draft in St. Louis for a while. I know in terms of like co-ed drafting, like PJ would be the person I know that's done stuff like that. But
yeah, for sure.
I think it's possible for the state of Missouri. It's got to be in Columbia, though, if you want to get a good turnout of St. Louis and Kansas City.
Yeah. So BP Hero actually thought about having one of those at one point, but like a lot of things, it gets put on the back burner and never gets brought back up again. But I would like to do something like that in the near future. Just so the problem we're having with like local softball is the game is evolving. Social media is everywhere. And you get teams that want to come play softball. Like if there's nowhere to play or they want to play co-ed or this or that. And it honestly does happen where you get teams full of ringers want to show up, go play in podunk somewhere, and just blow everybody off the field.
Yeah.
And I'm not playing like the completely innocent card here. I mean, I've to be completely fair, I've been on some of the teams that have been blowing teams off the field. But like my main goal is not to stack a team full of just absolute ringers. It's people I enjoy playing softball with. It just, what do you do? I mean, I can't help that more competition didn't show up. Kind of thing a little bit. But
yeah, so a super draft type of deal would correct that. So I know like softball fans used to have a couple threads where these type of super draft things would happen throughout the country, and they would have obviously discussion about that. But so it always intrigued me because I heard about it. I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. Like you throw your hat in the ring, tell them your position, whatever stats about you, and then each team has a captain, and they basically draft those players that they need to fill a team, and then you go out and play.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that idea. I wish there was something like that closer to me where I didn't have to travel to Timbuktu to do it. Like a lot of these spiders draft stuff are very far away. But I think it would be really fun, especially be like a good like vlogging adventure, right? I mean, you talk about an adventure,
for
sure. So I think it would be fun. I don't, but at the local level, I don't know how well it would do because I don't know that you're going to get teams from all over Hell's Creation to come and play in a super draft in the middle of nowhere, unless you said like it's Columbia. Columbia would be about the only way you could do it, I feel like.
Yeah, you'd have to do some planning to figure out, when certain tournaments that are not official, like it maybe have to be in the middle of the year, the end of the year, or the beginning of the year, just where people are getting off and running. There's no sanction stuff. World's obviously no state, nothing like that.
Sure.
But you have enough time to carve out for other people to make a trip.
Yeah. There's a lot to get going to it, but it maybe is something that could be done. It'd be fun to do. Part of the reason I'm hesitant to put one on is because I don't know a ton about it. I feel like I screwed up. Then I let everybody down, and I don't want that. But
yeah, find a resource that can help with that.
That's true. Maybe I'll make PJ help me do it. PJ, you're up, kid.
You want this thing to be successful, right?
Tough.
Just kidding.
So
you got more experience than I do.
So circling back to pizza here real quick. Ryan Craven wants to know, does pineapple belong on a pizza? We're just real quick.
I say it's fine.
Yeah, I agree. I like this. I like the combo of like you do. I like to do something spicy, like a spicy sausage, and a pineapple because it's like kind of like yin and yang,
Mm-hmm.
It's real good. I appreciate that. Avel Rodriguez wants to know about the death of the softball fans forum. Facebook groups, 100% what did it.
Yeah.
There was the Facebook groups, and then what finished it off was the transition from their traditional layout they had to the new one that nobody liked.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. It was like the place that was hosting it, they were eventually going to shut down, is why they had to switch anyway. So I don't know what they could have did different in that regard. Maybe find something with a similar interface, but there was so much stuff that was different.
Yeah, I think you can also say that the another contributing factor was the business side. When I don't know if there's much truth to it, but I feel like it had a pretty good reason why it happened. It was like the success of Smash It, and how they're taking exclusives, and they're basically taking business. They're swallowing up other companies or taking business away from smaller companies, and softball fans happen to be a casualty of that. They didn't get a lot of business, so once they decided to close up the business side, the forum died.
Yeah, and it's that's tough to see as well. I remember, when I was affiliated with them, we would kind of talk shop a little bit, just as far as like a little bit of what you might call marketing plans. It was always so tough to do with Easton stuff because Easton was like when that whole era of like the forum was kind of starting to head downhill. Easton was like a big thing. Easton was like what everybody needed. Everybody had to have. You had your blue lines. You had the the Cottos were starting to like be relevant. The Bakers, and then everybody's talking and raving about all these Eastons, the Fireflexes and stuff, but softball fans only gets 3 models. You know, all these other retailers only get 3 models. Headbanger couldn't even get any.
Mm-hmm.
But the aforementioned store had them just running out their ears. And, of course, everybody's going to run there. And anytime anybody tried to get some, they just had a fit. It's hard to compete with that, you know? It's so hard to compete with that. So I think...
All fish fighting the big guys.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. I do know that
I can tell you, I can count on one hand how many times I went to the forum after they switched to the new format.
I tried for a while. I did. Just to try and kind of help, like, maybe keep it moving along and posting stuff there just to kind of keep people coming back. But it was tough. It was tough. It wasn't user-friendly, especially mobile-friendly. Mobile-friendly is a big thing. Not. Everybody wants to sit on their phones and do stuff, and it was not mobile-friendly. And Facebook has groups, which is built into to any phone on the freaking planet.
Yeah.
So there was just a lot of contributing factors that went into the Death of Softball Fans forum. It sucked, nonetheless, but it is what it is. So you said that you plan on ranting about senior softball.
Not really a rant. I just had some thoughts about it since now that I'm 40 and I'm moving into that realm. I don't know if anybody here is of age now for this, but and you have a relatively successful review channel, but you know, in my research to find a bat for when I start to play 40 and up stuff this year, I ran into, which I'm sure a lot of people have seen, is there is not quality bat review channels. There are a few mainstay channels, or I guess you could say, or you know, people who get enough softball bat reviews is probably the only channel that many people may have seen. There's a couple others sprinkled in there, but nothing that's consistently putting out stuff or of good quality that would bring people back. So like, there's no BP Hero, there's no softball, you know, or Will's channel, there's Bat Flip. He doesn't have senior stuff. There's no senior bat review equivalent to what you guys are doing for regular bats.
Sure.
And it's frustrating because I'm sure it's a big missed opportunity.
Yeah, and I do want to do more senior reviews. It's something that I have found that people get interested in. And I guess I just don't realize like how many older viewers I have as well. Because every time I post a senior softball bat review, I mean, there's people that like I've never seen comment on a video. I believe it or not, I don't want to say I get a lot of comments on the videos, but it's easy to keep track of like who's a frequent engager as far as like the comment section goes in a video. And I'll get people that I can see how long people have been subscribed. They've been subscribed for 5 or 6 years. I've never seen that name. But it's, you know, they're keeping up with the content.
Something to put out there. Maybe we need to get a demographic of what your viewers are and see if there's a need. I mean, you're going to be getting older too, so you naturally would move into that. But
sure,
you know, for the time being, at least you at least know what you have to look forward to in terms of viewership or appreciated content. But yeah, it was so frustrating to find good bat reviews on senior bats.
Yeah, like I can only think of 2. Obviously your biggest one that everybody knows about, and then like Alan Tanner, but I mean he's a brand homer, so he's going to tell you that everything he swings is the best. Which you know, I mean the Mike and senior bats do seem to be pretty decent, but and it's nothing against Alan, but it's just like it's hard to take a review from someone who's trying to push and sell and do that kind of thing, you know. It's like Adam spoke about the video that was recently posted comparing it was an Anarchy affiliated player posting a comparison between an Anarchy and a Suncoast bat. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like somebody else said, you know, it's like the Titanic. We all know how it's going to end, right? Because if that guy's bat didn't do well, he wasn't going to post the video.
Right.
You know?
But I mean, the smaller channels just aren't. It's not consistent. And what I mean by quality is, I want to see a review on a field so I can gauge distance, not in an open field. I want something on a field that we're going to be playing on. I want camera angles to be viewer friendly. Obviously,
The camera angles are big.
Yeah, it's huge. Like, you can't just be the guy in the frame blocking half the view and you can't see how far the ball is going. Like, I know it's a senior bat. I know the ball is going to go far. And then you got player types. So for a 40-year-old, myself, is going to make the bat perform a little bit better than a 50-year-old. It's obvious, unless there's somebody that's always in the gym. Now, I know life expectancy nowadays is great. A lot of people are gym rats. So you got a lot of guys that are probably in way better shape as a 50-year-old than I am as a 40-year-old. So it's not, you're going to get different body types, but like, it's good when a bat review video has multiple body type shapes, tall guy, big guy, muscle guy, older guy, like a base hitter. That's helpful too, but there's just nothing that's consistent. And the ones that are out there, there needs some tweaking to make it more digestible, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I do agree.
I did as much research as I can before I actually pulled the trigger on a bat. So I know Gio was asking if I was going to say if I got a bat, which I did. I did decide to buy the new Helmer Senior bat because I do like Easton.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like the Suncoast. They're really good.
Yes.
I swung teammates in the cage this past weekend, and I took one swing. I was like, that's ridiculous. So if anybody needs a cosign on a senior bat, the Suncoast Melees are really good.
Yeah. Suncoast, formerly Adidas.
Yeah.
Their senior bats have been incredible. I've liked them since the original Melees. It's just something they always did right. I don't know why they couldn't, obviously we know standards and things, but why they couldn't translate and make something for a U-Trip bat that could be comparable. But there's the Ruckus.
240 Ruckuses are pretty good.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, the Ruckus are still good, but something that makes you makes you not want to put it down. Right. The Adidas Ruckus and all that stuff. Or sorry, not the Ruckus. The Melees was something like, man, I don't want to put this down. I want to keep swinging it. They couldn't make a U-Trip bat that made me feel that way. Like their Ruckus, the original 220 stamped Ruckus, was just kind of meh. I know a lot of people go nuts for those things, and Facebook controls the market on them, no doubt. But it's one thing that just didn't absolutely blow me away. But real quick, Adam Enlow is in the chat. He says, "Hi, Snacks and Jesse. Hello, my friend. How are you? Thanks for stopping in."
Speaking of Apex, this man's on it all the time.
Oh, is he on that grind?
I see him on there from time to time.
He says you're getting old talking about senior bats. Uh-oh. Shots fired.
I know. I don't like it, but yeah, we're gonna play. We're gonna try to play a couple senior tournaments this year, along with the dad bod stuff. So our dad bod's 40 and up.
Yeah. So you got dad bod's 40 and up now. Okay.
Yeah. There's a handful of us on there, obviously, because not everybody's 40 yet. But
sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Eric is in the chat here. He said he's playing senior this weekend, and he also says his 2 cents: 40s shouldn't swing senior bats. I don't necessarily disagree with that.
I agree. I was tempted not to buy a senior bat just because it'll break probably quicker than I wanted to. And I was just going to use my 220s that are really hot.
Yeah. I mean, you do still have the option to use 220s, right?
I honestly don't know, but I would imagine.
Yeah. So real quick, Eric, you're still listening. What's your go-to weapon for, or I guess any of our senior guys here? Where's our senior guys? What's our go-to sticks here in the chat? I am curious to know that, because it seems like there's always there's not a wide variety of bats, but it seems like you fall into these places where guys swing the same thing. Like Demise makes senior bats, and you don't ever see anybody swinging them.
I was gonna say I haven't heard any of the Demise bats, the seniors, because they used to have the Geezer back in the day, the Demise 1.21, which is the senior stamp number.
Yeah.
You used to see that all the time, but now, and I don't know if it's just because Headbanger doesn't promote it that much, but they're the go-to DeMarini source right now.
Oh yeah.
They're it's all the new stadiums, all the new food dogs, but no mention of seniors. So is DeMarini still making a senior bet? I have no idea. I mean, actually, I do have an idea. They make the Larry Carter, but I think that was like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Which is another lie. So it just doesn't get promoted a lot right now. All the senior stuff seems to be the Suncoast.
Yeah, no
the
doubt.
The Suncoast or the Dudley, the Lightnings.
Yes, the Dudley. Yeah, the Dudleys are real big too. I will say that. And Eric says he's going to try and use his Suncoast 2-piece. Or sorry, he's going to use his Suncoast 2-piece and try the Enough Said, which is the Onyx.
Yeah, so, I watched a couple of reviews of that.
But yeah, as far as like the DeMarini stuff goes, you talk about Larry Carter. The only thing they ever did it justice to with Larry Carter was the LC5. Absolutely disgusting softball bat.
You know what? If I could find one of those, I would use that as a senior bat because that thing was crazy.
Dude, I mean, in the heavier they were, it was like almost insane how much better they were.
Yeah.
So let's see. That was way back. So way back in the day, I used to be like anti-DeMarini. Like, wouldn't swing him, like, screw DeMarini. I'm not touching that thing. I'd rather go up there and risk striking out looking than swing a DeMarini. And then Tony Wales got a 30-ounce LC5. And,
which felt light for a 30-ounce.
It did. I actually scaled it. It was a 28.1. But DeMarini's scale weights have always kind of been kind of wonky anyway. But there's no doubt it swung. To me, it still swung and hit like a 30-ounce bat, personally.
But just soft barrel, felt like a tennis racket.
Golly, dude, you couldn't miss with it. It was a 12-inch barrel, and like you said, it felt like hitting a tennis racket.
Yeah, aluminum handle.
It was absolutely crazy.
That was a great bat. I think there's one on YouTube. Or sorry, I think there's one on eBay for like $4.99.
I mean, don't tempt me with a good time.
No, that's hard to justify that. There's no way I would pay that.
That is true. That is true. But I did see, if we got Red Bat fans in the chat, they made the Red Bat again this year. It's a 240 Red Bat. Obviously, it's going to be 240 standard, but that was another good one. I'm really excited to swing that.
I heard the Foo Dog apparently is. Yeah, I heard the Foo Dog is apparently a Red Bat with an unload.
Love that. So I do have a small stash of things coming that we'll be able to get some reviews on soon. I swung the this year's Marshburn Louisville Slugger Tyler Marshburn edition, which is the full ounce inload model. I'm still just going to say it. Louisville's got the 240s on lock. We also swung the Suncoast. Drawn blank. Is it the Ruckus?
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's the Suncoast Ruckus.
Max?
Yeah. And it was good, but it's still Louisville's just got the edge. I don't know what they're doing different. Maybe I don't want to know, but
they got the special magic.
Yeah, they got something going on there. So two real quick more things here. So pros and cons of traveling out of town for ball rather than staying for local ball. I mean, you being in kind of St. Louis, I guess it's kind of a little bit different for you.
Yeah. The biggest pro is you're playing people you haven't played before, so it levels the playing field.
Yeah, if anything, it's a change of scenery, right?
Right.
It's not playing the same dudes, week in, week out, week in, week out. Like if you're playing D in St. Louis and you stick to staying in St. Louis, you're playing the same guys every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get the crap side of going out of town to play and running into local teams anyway.
True.
It seems like it never fails. It seems like that always happens. Whether it be, guys going to Florida and things like that. You always end up playing local teams. It's crazy.
I like it more fun. It's more fun for me. 'Cause, not to say that you shouldn't focus at a local tournament, with the same goal in mind of winning the tournament. But when you're going out of town, you're with your team. There's more camaraderie. It's kind of a mini vacation, but at the same time, like you're going there to perform. Like you're kind of representing where you're from because everyone's like, "Oh, where are you guys from?" Blah blah blah. It's just more fun, I think.
Yeah, if you're with the right group of guys, it is for sure. You're like, we're here to do a job. You know, we're here to win a tournament. We're not here to, go to the mall after the game or go to the zoo with the kids. Like, no, we're here to play softball. Everything else kind of takes second place.
Yeah. Yeah, we drove all the Demise drove all the way out to Ohio last year for 35 and up, and for I think it was GSL 35 and up. And we did not perform as well as we had the prior tournament, but we still had fun.
Sure.
That's the ultimate goal, is to have fun and do well.
Yeah. So that's at the end of the day, pros and cons for going out of town or staying local. It's a split to me. I like going somewhere different change of scenery, different competition, that kind of thing. And it also seems like too, I'm not really in the loop of like local softball around here. As far as, like there's stuff always in Chillicothe or, Podunk here, Podunk there. Like I'm not in the loop of that stuff. Nobody ever says anything to me about it. But I also don't mind
Except
traveling
the Salisbury tournament.
Yeah, stuff like that. Salisbury. So last thing, real quick, we've hit our hour mark, and I got to be up at 4:30 in the morning.
Oof.
So I'm just gonna clarify this right now. If anybody in this chat answers this question as under, unsubscribe, block me, and don't ever talk to me again. The question is, toilet paper, does it go under or over? Careful with your answer.
And by over, you mean it comes towards you and you pull from the top.
Yeah. Yeah,
over.
But why do people put it the other way sometimes?
Good question.
I'm telling you. Somebody did that in our house one time. We had some guests over, and I guess somebody had to do the old swapperoo, and it was backwards. And I sent a group chat, and I said, look, if this ever happens again, nobody is visiting this house. That's just like straight judgment type stuff for me. You should never do that. But we are getting some
personal preference.
Yeah, no, not on this one. Not on I'd eat pepperoni pizza before I put toilet paper on under.
Pick a topping that's a little bit. I don't know. You don't like. You'll eat it, but you don't like it. I don't know. You're a weird dude sometimes. God forbid, don't put bacon on your pizza. You might not touch it.
Dude, what? Okay, so this is how we're gonna do this. We're just gonna close the podcast with a big debate over pepperonis and bacon. I don't see the raving.
We can finish with the bowling. There's been bowling news while we've been talking.
What's the bowling news? Tell me.
As of this year, you're not allowed to use any urethane bowling ball in competition that was made prior to 2020.
What? Effective when?
That I forgot. I didn't see that.
So that explains why. So I'm way too ate up in this bowling thing. I watch more bowling videos than I do softball videos. So I have noticed that a lot of guys are like talking about this can replace urethane and this and that. I guess I didn't realize that that's a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
No urethane.
Yeah, like so. Hammer makes a purple hammer.
Oh yeah, the purple hammer is like
bowling
an icon,
ball, which is super. It's like top performing urethane ball, but so basically, for people who don't know, you get high performing bowling balls similar to like you would have different base or softball bats. So you have a reactive resin ball. It's going to soak up oil and hook harder.
Yes.
But the urethane is going to not pick up oil and go longer and push that oil down the lane and make it harder for people who are using reactive balls, to keep it simple. But
yeah, the guys that like the big like broad hooks and things like that, and all the crazy spin, like they're using a reactive ball. It's going to react to the oil. Like the oil, for those that maybe don't know, the lanes are oiled down. in certain patterns and that kind of thing. But the lanes are oiled down; they have oil applied to them, and then the balls react to that. Now, if you get into like maybe your balls are too strong, or maybe you're having trouble, you go to the urethane. Urethane is kind of like the, what do you want to call it? The old trusty, the old reliable. Like it's pretty much just like you said. It's going to skid down the lane, and then just turn right into the pins.
Right. And it gives people a competitive edge that can control it and use it.
Yeah.
But like I said, it pushes that oil further down the lane and then changes the oil pattern for the people who are using a reactive resin ball, and it changes the outcome, especially when let's say you have on a league night you have two teams on a pair of bowling lanes, and you have 8 people per team. Usually there's going to be one lefty because there's not very many lefties. So that means everybody else is shooting on one side of the lane. And that oil gets burnt up. It gets pushed out of the way. They say burnt up because it's getting used.
Yeah.
The balls are going to hook earlier. It's going to be harder to control, harder to find your spot to where you can strike consistently. Well, the urethane balls are going to push that oil further down the lane and change where that ball from the person who's using a reactive ball is going to hook. It's going to change that spot to where they knew to throw the ball. Now it makes it harder to strike, and the person who's using urethane is unaffected, basically.
Yeah, it's interesting too to see. I watched a video of a guy. He went to the bowling lane and he put oil on 2 fingers. He wiped, he put 2 fingers out, wiped oil on them, and then put some on a reactive ball, and then put some on a urethane ball, and let it sit, and came back, and the ball, the reactive ball, the oil is almost gone.
Yeah, it soaks it up.
Because it soaks into the ball, yeah. And then the urethane, it was like he just left it. So that just kind of illustrates, like, it just carries the oil down the lane. And I've even seen, do you watch Brad and Kyle at all?
Yeah, of course.
So did you see there was a shot? He was playing this last tournament he was playing. He threw a shot. Kyle threw a shot, and it goes down the lane, and it literally just fell off. It's like it just fell off the face of the earth. It hit.
It just kind of, what's the term I wanted to use? But it just continues to take off. It doesn't hit that spot and hook when it's supposed to.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like you always kind of see like the balls kind of die off and that kind of thing. But I mean, it never turned. It hit a patch of. You could even see like the spin of the ball. Like it just stopped spinning. It hit a patch of oil that all the urethane, because he was shooting on a set of lanes with people that were using a ton of urethane and that had urethane on them. So they've got all that oil pushed down the lane. So the second that his ball hit all that oil that had been pushed down, it literally just shot straight into the gutter. Didn't even hit the pins.
Oh, wow.
Like it never broke. It never came back. It rolled out. It just rolled, and it never came out of its roll. It was crazy. But
yeah, for those who don't know Brad and Kyle, what we're talking about is one's local, the other one I think is from Kansas City, but they play out of the St. Louis area. They're on the PBA bowling circuit. So you'll see them on Sunday sometimes on PBA whenever the PBA is on FS1 or whatever.
Yeah.
With Jason Belmonte and all those really well-known bowlers. But they bowl out of St. Charles, and they have a YouTube channel. It's very popular.
Very.
In the bowling community. Young guys. I think one of them went to Lindenwood maybe.
Really?
Or both of them. That's where they met.
Okay.
But yeah, awesome channel if you like bowling. Super fun. They break it down.
I think it's really cool too. They're doing the tour. They're out on the PBA tour. They're just kind of like taking you through, like, hey, this is what it's like. I mean, yes, I know I could do more vlogs when I go to tournaments, but it's literally like a conference player taking you through their weekend. I mean, it's the same exact thing. Like they're showing up, they're doing all their bowling, they're traveling, they're doing this, they're doing that, and it's really cool. Like I follow them and like Darren Tang, a lot of those guys that all kind of run together. But it's just super interesting to see that side of things, and it's kind of like got me inspired to vlog a little bit more, even if it's just something that's just kind of thrown together.
Yeah, it's fun. You got to find a good balance though, because I remember the last video I watched of them. Kyle was making it pretty far in the tournament, so they were vlogging the rest of it, and Kyle asked him, "Well, did you see my shot on ice?" He's like, "No, man. I had to talk to like 14 different people because there's fans in the bowling alley. They want to come up and talk to him, obviously, but you got to find a good balance. And if you're going to vlog, make sure that's not sacrificing you trying to play the game. Also,
Sure.
But yeah, I miss bowling. I found 2 of my bowling balls. One in the garage cracked because of the cold weather, and then I had one in the basement. Which was at the bottom of the stairs, so maybe the cold weather just dropped down there. But I just noticed it was cracked too. I was like, "What the hell?"
You're 0 for 2.
Yeah, I haven't opened my ball bag. I have 3 more in the garage in a bag, and I'm afraid to open it.
Just don't touch it.
Yeah.
So, I think we're gonna call it there. Dad's got to get up early, and I'm also trying to get away from the rehashing of. Apparently, me only liking cheese pizza now, according to Gio. And now Adam's jumping on me about that. So this is real cool.
Speaking of Adam, we need to get Adam to do senior softball bat reviews too.
Yeah. I guess
maybe I'll just record myself hitting the new bat when it comes tomorrow for this weekend because it's supposed to be nice. And I'll just send you the video and you can edit it.
Yeah, we can do that. I don't care. We value your opinion, Snacks. Maybe not so much on your food topics, but
whatever.
Yeah. So Adam says Lindenwood's going D1. Just real quick.
Yes, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
really?
Lindenwood's going D1. Yeah, they're going to join. Which conference is it? I forget what conference, but yeah, football and everything. They're going to be D1.
Wow.
I think it's awesome.
That's crazy. Another D1 school in Missouri. How about that? Hopefully they. Cool. Obviously, there's going to be growing pains involved, right? Hopefully they do well.
They'll be in the same conference with SEMO.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever conference SEMO's in, they're going to be with them.
Okay.
Maybe the MAC? Is that what it is?
It's not the MAC. I can't think of what it is.
Or
if you said it, I would remember it.
The Valley? Missouri Valley Conference? No.
I think you might be right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. I played on Lindenwood's turf for football once when they were not. They were D2 when I was with Culver. Culver Stockton was their D2 school up in Canton, Missouri, just by Quincy, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
Always got to love turf. Always have to love turf.
I don't know. This was the one with I'd rather play on grass. This is where you have the rubber pellets so when you tackle somebody and the rubber pellets
you're fucking covered in them.
Yeah, terrible.
I could see that. That would be annoying. So Adam says it's the MVC, a Midwest Valley Conference is what it's called.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So Gio was wanting to know if you want to hit this weekend. He's saying here in the chat. I don't know if do you have the chat pulled up?
No, I don't. I can't see it.
Gio's wanting to know if you want to hit this weekend, he says. I think he just wants to try your new bat.
That's fine. Yeah, a couple of the dad bats are trying to hit. I haven't figured out what we're going to do yet, but if it's going to be inside or outside. But I think if it's nice enough, I would prefer to hit outside.
Yeah, I hit outside today, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was gorgeous today.
So, all right, listen. I keep saying this, but I do have to go. I got to go to bed. I got to be at 4:30 in the morning because I got to go make monies. So, thanks for everybody for stopping in.
Yeah.
Snacks, of course. It's always a pleasure.
Appreciate you having me.
Come back soon. Adam, glad you stopped in to help me chat up with Snacks here a little bit. Everybody else in the chat, love that y'all stop in. But this is it for the BP Hero Podcast, Season 7, Episode number 9. Catch you next Thursday, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central. Words are hard. Swing hard in case you hit it. BP Hero. Catch you next time.